right, go ahead, get it out your system. Yep, let me have it. Quincy, you're lacking. Quincy, you're slacking. You said every Monday, where's the podcast at? Did you give up on the grind? Where are you at? Well, just sit back, relax. Let me explain. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome, welcome back to another edition of My Honest Take. This is the only podcast that matters and the only pod you'll ever need with your host, Quincy. That is me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your day. Listen, I already know what you guys are going to say. Okay? You can let me have it all day long. I get it. I understand. It feels like I'm not really in tune with you guys no more, and that's my fault. Nobody else to blame but me. I've been MIA for a while now. What, 2 weeks? I did this twice now already. So now it feels like, things are off. What's going on? For all my real fans who actually are checking in on me, I'm alive. All right. Everything's fine. Just been dealing with life, but not in a negative way. Just more of a, all right, cool, cool. You know, um, so I'm gonna get into it. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. I'm gonna let you know exactly what's going on and what the future has in store for us. So this is gonna be a long podcast, but this is still gonna be something to give you guys accustomed to the changes and what's gonna be happening. All right. So before we start, I do want to give y'all a shout out, of course, for always holding down the podcast, showing love endlessly. Um, I really do appreciate that, man. If you guys been tuning into the YouTube, I appreciate you there. If you're tuning into the Twitch during live streams, I appreciate you there. So I really do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing on everything that I've been doing. So, um, once again, I do appreciate you guys truly for that. But before the formalities out the way, y'all know what we came here for. So, what's been happening in my life? What's new, Quincy? What's going on? Well, as you guys know from the last podcast, if I do, I think I did say what was going on. Yeah, I did. See, look, it's been a while. I had to remember. But I messed up my Achilles. You know what I'm saying? Playing basketball. So I've been nursing that, trying to get back to 100% there. Nobody told me it takes this long. It's ridiculous. So we're probably at like 99, but it feels like I've been at 99 forever now. So just still nursing that, trying to get myself back to 100% there to actually go back out there, start hitting the gym more, back to the courts. So still trying to get that back to 100. Um, my little brother ended up going to college, so we've been dealing with that, just making sure that he's adjusting to life the right way, um, making sure he's good mentally, preparing himself just for life. This is life now for him. So I've been dealing with that just to make sure he's good, getting accustomed to this first week and everything like that. So that's where I've pretty much been at, mainly focused on life. You know what I mean? Like the podcast and all that, that's not gonna go nowhere. Sometimes I gotta put that on pause for a second and go tend to life. So that's why I've been MIA dealing with that. And then on top of all that, I ended up getting sick right after. So I was just dealing with it all. But I kept pushing to try to find what I wanted to talk about and everything like that. But noticing that, okay, I missed the Monday. Should I do a Tuesday? Should I do Wednesday? What should I do? And let me just take this week. Let me get better. Let me focus on low bro. Let me make sure everything's good with the fam. And that's what I decided to do. So I'm alive. Everything's fine. Like I said, this social media stuff, sometimes you gotta give it a break. Sometimes you gotta give it a pause and just tend to what you gotta tend to now, you know. So I want to make sure all that was taken care of first before I came back to you guys, because I didn't want to feel distracted. I didn't want to feel like I wasn't giving you guys 100%. So I want to make sure I came back to you guys with the notion of, okay, I'm ready to do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's really been going on, just making sure life has been steady. Again, a nice, good schedule with that to make sure things are fine there. So that's that. Secondly, I've been planning when it comes to changing the setup around. Obviously, you guys don't see it. This is what I'll be seeing mostly. I'll definitely give you guys a setup tour. Of course, that'll be on the YouTube, but I'm trying to change up the whole setup, make things look a little bit better for me and my environment, just because the setup right now is on its last leg. All right, desk is leaning, stuff is dusty, shit seems broken. It's rough right now. Okay, it's rough. So, a couple things need to be changed out and just upgraded or just moved around. So, I'm still doing a lot of that maintenance things just to make sure everything looks the way it needs to look presentable wise. Um, Still got to tweak out with some that have microphone controls to give you guys better sound quality. Like, yeah, now it may sound good, but I want to give you guys something that sounds great. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm tweaking around with that stuff. Definitely still looking at upgrading the actual quality of the camera to give you guys better live podcast where you're able to see me and maybe a guest. I'm still working out the kinks for all this type of stuff, y'all. So trust me, I didn't forget about it. It's just sometimes you get hit with that roadblock and you just gotta, all right, take my time, let me get past it and keep moving forward with it. So trust me, it is coming. I just gotta get through the regular kinks, okay? But I'm still upgrading stuff like that to give you guys the best quality podcast every single week. Okay. So trust me, that's still the goal. Now, lastly, is the change that's going to go in effect. So, Mondays was working. Okay. Mondays was working. It was cool. It was cool. But I noticed you guys weren't really tuning in on the Mondays that much. You guys were like, nobody likes Monday. I get it. I get it. Right. But I wanted to try to give the podcast on a Monday because it's like, all right, maybe I could give you guys something to look forward to, right? Maybe Monday could seem a little bit better. But no, nobody likes Monday, man. Nobody does. So looking through some of the statistics, looking through just from what other people are saying, looking at what you guys are doing, the podcast is still going to be weekly. Just still gives you guys enough time to digest the podcast, get all the news, see some things that you guys might think I might talk about, whatever it may be. So it's still weekly. That's still the best format. I think it doesn't overload you guys with too much. Still give you guys wanting more. So weekly still going to be the format, but it is going to be posted on Tuesdays, people. Tuesdays is when the podcast will be uploaded. It will typically be uploaded around 5 a.m. You should see it. On my end, editing wise, it may be done by midnight, but you guys should see it by 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. That's Eastern time. So, whenever time that is for you guys, it's still going to be 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So, that's what we're looking for. It's going to be on Tuesdays just because I think that's going to be the best time for everybody. It's not a Monday, right? It's still the beginning of the week though, so still give you something to look forward to. But I feel like that Tuesday is just a better format for you guys, and easier to digest. So that's what we're going with. Okay. That's the changes we're making. It's Tuesdays on the podcast. Okay. So if you realize, oh man, he's not here on Monday, I knew it. I'm done with him. Come back to this. It's going to be on Tuesdays. You will see the podcast live on Tuesdays. Okay. Now, when it comes to the categories and how we talk about everything, we're still pretty much giving you guys all the news, one stop shop about everything. But this is going to be tweaked out a little bit, meaning we're going to make things sound a little bit more better. Some categories or some discussions and topics we may just skim over or not even bother to talk about as much if it's really not that interesting to you guys or for you guys. Okay, keep that in mind. So if it's something happening in sports that's just pretty minor, I'm not even going to talk about it. We'll just skip past it, keep it going, or we'll do a short. Hey, all right, did y'all see that? What y'all think? Cool. You know, um, I felt like this change is necessary just because some topics we just drag on for no reason, right? We just drag on and we just keep it going and it starts to get annoying. So, no. If it's something that has little to no substance, we're just going to skip over it or barely touch on it just to try to keep you guys engaged during the whole long run. I don't want to put nobody to sleep. I want you guys to be thinking. I want you guys to be enjoying. I want you guys to be able to interact with the podcast. You know what I mean? So that's definitely how that's gonna go. We're definitely gonna change up some things there with topics and how things are said and done when it comes to that. Okay. Now, like I also said, when it comes to guests, this is a very situational thing because, of course, guests make the podcast really well for a lot of people. People love the dynamics of hearing two people talk, or even more than two people talk, because it's everybody's mind. Everybody's mind works in different ways. So being able to hear what other people have to say and how they think is always amazing, right? How this works depends because I can still upload it on a Tuesday as well, or special guests could get their own day, meaning if Tuesday I got the podcast already prepped for, but I have that special guest on there, I might upload it Thursday. So you get two podcasts in 1 week. You see what I mean? Now that won't be every week, but where there's a guest, boom, I could give y'all a double whammy right there. So we're still working with that just to try to see what will be the best for you guys to see what actually sounds the best, what isn't um too much on you guys, just to make things sound the way I want it to sound and the way it should sound for you guys, right? I just trying to iron out a lot of kinks when it comes to, like I said, making this podcast something that people talk about in the long run. People always want to hear more from, right? That's the plan. That's the goal. So there's gonna be good changes. Um, that I think that a lot of people are gonna like. Like I said, with how things are run, with even how the little things from how the title is, from how the description is, just seeing a little bit more things that just seem like okay, this is something that should be at the top of the top. Um, so it's definitely something that I'm looking at. Going to be changing up a lot of things because I want to drop this in seasons. Season 3, season 4, things like that. Um, just to try to switch up the vibes, just to give it a better, fresh taste and feel. Um, Even as much as changing the actual design of my honest take. So there's a lot going into this now that we're really trying to tackle to make this something that's gonna be loved and appreciated by everybody. So, it's you guys who make this podcast what it is today. You guys are the ones who's constantly showing the love and support. So I'm truly thankful for that. So I want to try to show you how much I really care by actually putting in even more effort than I already was to show you that, okay, you guys still like it. Let's try to make it even better because nobody's perfect. You can only get better, right? So they say practice makes perfect. No, practice makes better. So I'm gonna just keep going and keep going and keep going to a point where it's at the top, where people from all over could recognize this podcast. And it all started with you guys, man. So I do appreciate that. So, like I said, this wasn't gonna be a long podcast. This is just me letting you guys know what the update is, where I've been at, and what I've been working on in the background. Like I said, you're gonna see a lot of it. Behind the scenes news too and all that. Like I said, keep up on the YouTube and the Instagram as well, because you'll see a lot more stuff like that. Um, that really can help you guys see exactly what I do and what I'll be doing, when it comes to updates on if a podcast will be posted or hey, special guest, be prepared, double upload, things like that. So just be on the lookout a lot for the upcoming months, weeks, things like that, man, because we're definitely gonna be making some bigger waves and bigger splashes in the podcast game, man. So, um, I do appreciate you guys, truly. Once again, for all the love and support you guys have always been showing on the podcast, man. But like I said, my name is Quincy. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or night on wherever you're listening to. I do appreciate you. So, y'all stay tuned, man. We have a lot of big things coming. My name is Quincy, and you've been listening to my honest take.